August 13. Welcome to the Daily Echo. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry yesterday I was out of town, so we played a video clip of Robin Williams and some of his movies to music, and I thought it was a good clip. Robin Williams made many of us laugh. I thought he was an extremely funny man, and he will be missed. I hope people don't get the wrong message with what the media is doing with this whole ordeal. Suicide is never an option. It should never be an option. And I think sometimes we publicize, sometimes we almost immortalize sometimes people that they're escaping, that they're free at last. I think somebody had put in a Twitter response yesterday, and that's not the case. I think people need to understand suicide is a choice. It's always a choice. And no matter how dismal we are in what situation at the time, we still have a choice. I saw something the other day that said every 40 seconds in the United States someone commits suicide. Every 41 seconds those people that are left behind have to deal with it. Please, if you need help, if you are suicidal, if you have issues like that, reach out for help. What you're seeing is not the world. It's your paradigm of the world. It's the way that you see the world. I reposted a blog yesterday by Matt Walsh. I think it's a great article that he wrote. He's dealt with depression, and he really goes after it very hard, because I agree with him. I think that when people kill themselves now, we give hundreds of thousands of people in this world an excuse to maybe, hey, this may be an answer. It's not an answer. It's never the answer. So I posted that yesterday just to sort of remember him, but in no way do I condone that act. I think people need to understand that there's always help out there. So moving on today, I want to talk about the title of this, The I-Beam, one of my favorite stories. When I was a 19-year-old missionary in London, England, one of my best friends, Dan Nelson, who was a companion at the time, introduced me to Hyrum Smith, the founder and CEO of Franklin Quest, and we listened to his cassette tape. And if you've heard this story, it's later told by Sean Covey to the teenagers. As you'll see, an I-beam, I've got a picture of it there, shows it's usually made to build buildings. And he used this experiment on a live audience to find out their governing values. Governing values are the things in life you value the most. If you don't know what your governing values are, the I-beam story will help you find that out. So he brought the man up from the audience and he said, here's this 50-foot I-beam. I'm going to put it here on the gym floor. I have $100 at the end of it. Will you cross the I-beam for that $100? The man said, of course. Changed the scenario, put it on the back of a truck, hauled it to New York City. He says, now we're between the Empire State Building and the World Trade Center. We have a longer I-beam. It's almost bowing because it's so long. $100, will you cross the I-beam? Man, of course not. My life is too valuable. $100,000. No, I wouldn't. $1 million. The man thought about it and said, I might for $1 million because, I think I could get across it, but finally he said, I'm not really sure. He said, my life is worth more than the $1 million. Then he changes the scenario again. He says, now we have a storm coming in. It's very windy. You can't see very far. In fact, you can't even see across the building hardly. You can barely see across. It's raining. The I-beam is very slippery. It's wobbling in the wind. And he says, now on the other end of that building, there is this evil man who is holding your daughter. He found out this man had a child. And he says, if you do not cross the I-beam, I will drop her off of this building. Will you cross the I-beam? Without any gap in time, the man said, of course I would. And I think the moral of this story and the moral of what Hyrum Smith is trying to get us to understand is, what will we cross the I-beam for? What are those things in our life that are so important that we will do whatever we need to do to ensure their safety, or that those things are a success in life? And most of the time, it's not the money, it's not the fame and the fortune. Robin Williams is a great case of this. I'm not sure you could be more famous. I'm not sure money-wise, but I'm sure he had quite a bit. Joy does never equate to those things. The things that you will cross the I-beam for, that's what's ultimately going to give you joy and happiness in life. Ask yourself those questions today as you move forward. What will I cross the I-beam for? Those are your governing values. That's where you should be spending your time. Hopefully your spouse, your family, helping others. Have a great Wednesday, wonderful Wednesday. Thanks as always for tuning in to the Daily Echo.